President Trump taking a victory lap this morning after signing the founding charter of the Board of Peace and reportedly striking a compromise with NATO over Greenland.
20 other countries signed the charter in Davos this morning. The president said it would work with the UN to ensure peace in the Middle East, but offered very little new details about how this board would operate. As for Greenland, Trump took to Truth Social yesterday, writing, in part, "We have formed the framework on a future deal with respect to Greenland and, in fact, the entire Arctic region. This solution, if consummated, will be a great one for the United States of America and all NATO nations. Based upon this understanding, I will not be imposing the tariffs that were scheduled to go into effect on February 1st. The president added that additional discussions were being held concerning the Golden Dome, but offered few details.
The deal reportedly doesn't transfer ownership of the island to the U.S., but according to Axios, it does include sections that update that 1951 Greenland Defense Agreement, which allows the U.S. to build military bases. It also reportedly includes portions of raw materials like rare earth minerals, but again, details are sparse.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt heralded the deal framework, telling Axios President Trump is proving once again he's the deal maker in chief if this goes through. This deal, and President Trump is very hopeful it will. The U.S. will be achieving all of its strategic goals with respect to Greenland at very little cost forever.
But some aren't as optimistic about the deal. Social media was alight with Trump critics accusing the president of, once again, chickening out. The Occupy Democrats account, in part, posting, "Taco, Trump chickens out on his Greenland madness, abandons his tariffs, and strikes a deal with Europe that accomplishes nothing and does not grant the United States ownership of the Arctic island. Trump just destroyed our national reputation for nothing." That concern over national reputation seems to have made it to Capitol Hill as well, with some lawmakers telling the Hill they're concerned about the damage Trump's threats have done to NATO. Democratic Congressman Adam Smith says, quote, "It's hard to unring the bell. He was willing to threaten and use coercive power to try to take the sovereignty of another nation, a NATO ally. It has damaged the relationship, and now our partners and allies think that they'd better have a backup plan because they can't depend on us." Yo, Taco was trending yesterday. Taco was trending yesterday. Trump always chickens out. That was trending, and I'm like, did you guys mention it? Because it's not Lindsey news. It was X News.
Now it does
platform.
Bring a smile to my face because I just think of you laughing.
He chickened out. He said specifically, he went on the stage in Davos and talked all
Do Democrats not know how deals work?
Let me finish. I don't care how deals work. They don't work like
Clearly.
this. I don't care. Excuse me. I make a lot of deals with my production company. I don't care how Taco deals work.
You do know how deals work.
I don't care how Taco deals work. He went on that Davos stage, and for days he's been saying that we have the right, title, and ownership. That's a quote from the president of this autonomous place, okay? And now he's celebrating that we have an infinite, quote, forever framework deal over the same thing that we had since 1951, that we're allowed to have military bases and boots on the ground in Greenland. Like, no duh, Sherlock. And you know what I really want to say there. Like, you just threatened a NATO ally. You made the entire Europe uncomfortable with our actions, all to just say, oh, never mind. We're just going to do the same thing we've been doing. And also check what kind of minerals you have over there because we want to make some money. Like, what is he doing? Why would you threaten? Why would we go this far with the threat?
Hyperbole. That's the art of the deal. To get something less. He's not going to get that, but you ask for the moon, you demand the moon, and then you settle for something less than. It's deal making 101. Like when I say I will kill you and mount your head on a spike, not you specifically, but just, as I go through my day threatening to violently murder people. I'm not going to do that. I just want a little bit more of what I want sometimes.
There's another way to make a deal when you actually have a relationship with people, and I can speak from a place of experience. Like, let's say we have a standing relationship that's amicable. I don't then threaten you to try to make my amicable and good friend bow to its sensei, right? That's not how we behave. So another part of deal making is to talk to other nations like they're adults, not try to pay its citizens and berate them, and try to get to the point of an ally being an ally and figure out how best can we protect the U.S. in this territory, which is a fair argument, but not threaten them and make them uncomfortable for months on end so much that they have to have meetings with J.D. Vance and publicly state their perspective on not wanting to be owned by the U.S. in any way and constantly battle publicly with our president. I think there's a way less embarrassing way to go about making a deal.
The outcome here is good, so who cares? We're not invading Greenland because we shouldn't. We're not using military force. That would be wrong. We're going to get more of what the administration wanted regarding maintenance of military forces in Greenland and use of minerals and whatever else, so that this can be a strategic resource and a partnership for the U.S. and for NATO, and it's going to bring us all closer together, and great.
So there's nothing wrong to you about the fact that we undermined credibility with our alliances. Many European leaders were uncomfortable with the back and forth. I mean, we see Macron and Trump going at it head to head.
Sometimes
we're supposed to be allies.
European leaders a little uncomfortable.
But why? In what instance, when we were in the wrong saying we wanted to take over a territory that we didn't want to be taken over?
Trump ruled out taking it over.
No, just yesterday. Yes, he just did yesterday. Don't act like this has been his stance. He was suggesting, like, we're going to have it. We're going to take it, doing interviews the same way that he was suggesting that he might run a third term until he had to admit it's not possible.
Look,
He's being an antagonist.
I'm forced to recognize that it was a negotiating strategy, as is so much.
You're forced to recognize? Who forced you to recognize this? You
because that's what because we're not taking over Greenland, and he's happy with what we got out of it. So
yeah, but
I'm just looking at the results.
So when you're a taco, right, and when you chicken out all the time, you are supposed to be happy with results that are not ideal. So this makes it seem like a win for you because Trump never likes to take an L. So he's going to make everything feel like a win. But he knows, like, let's say
Trump always settles for
less.
Pacify.
No, like, let's say, okay, we're taxing China 100%. And then they go back and forth, trying to push us back, makes it uncomfortable. He realizes all goes on the consumer. We land at the same place we started. It's a win. It's a win. China's paying more tariffs.
Well, the administration is saying this is not the same place we started. This is better.
Okay, well, I'd like to review fully, and I reviewed it in a bit, the 1951 agreement that we already had. And I really would like to see the stark differences, because from what I understand about it, we could already have a military presence. We already could use the water space around there. We already could protect ourselves in any way we see fit. We just had to have a conversation with Denmark about it. And that was the rules. That's layman's terms. So I don't see what the difference is. Now we don't have to have a conversation with them. Now we just put boots on the ground. Now we take their minerals. Like, what's the difference?
It was an agreement.
Yeah, I don't like it. And I watched a nice interview from a Danish woman.
Oh, wow.
I did. You talk about citizen journalists all the time. So somebody just went talking to people out over there, and she was like, you don't get it. We here have a life where we don't care about the riches and the things of the U.S. that you guys put so much emphasis on. We enjoy our life. We're not in this culture of wanting to be ultimate capitalists and have nothing else to aspire to besides
ridiculous.
that. They just enjoy their life over there, and we're harassing this small place that has Greenland that has a nice life. They like the way they live.
They're a capitalist country. They're a high income.
Well, she's saying we don't live the same lives as you guys.
They're a very high income, high social order. They have
free. She said they had. Remember, I'm quoting her. She said they have free health care.
They also have no immigration.
So she said, why would I want to come to be owned by U.S. when you guys don't even have health care?
They have free health care because it's like all one big extended family that is okay to pay for everything. They don't allow outsiders to take advantage of it. If we looked more like Denmark, we'd have a lot less of a lot of people.
Up next, Utah Senator Mike Lee says Charlie Kirk's assassin should be publicly executed. Don't go anywhere.